Hello. What can I do today? What can I do? What can I play? We've all had children running up to us at some stage or other of their lives and saying this to us, and often it's a bit difficult to try to find something to keep them occupied the whole of a wet afternoon. What I'd like to suggest is that today we make a kind of a bagatelle game which they can make for themselves, or you can help them with it. They show these instructions and then they can play with it after. Maybe the whole family will get a bit of fun out of it. I've got one here. I'd just like you to have a quick look at it. I've made it up and you can see the idea. These are caves in a cliff, and behind them are some villainous characters hiding, and the idea is that we bowl some marbles along here, knock these characters over, tot up our scores. Well, I'll show you how to make that if you just come over here for a moment. We'll take a piece of cardboard, and this card could be taken, say, from the side of a carton or something that description, easily found around the house, and I'll draw a cliff here and some caves here. Now, the thing about these caves is that they should be of varying dimensions or widths, because one that's very narrow and will barely allow a ball bearing, or rather a marble, to pass through must exercise your skill rather more than one which is rather wide and easy to get a marble through. Having drawn that like so, I'll cut it out. Use the NT cutter here, but you can use scissors perhaps. And the other thing I should mention about this stage is that it need not be a bunch of piratical characters such as I've drawn here today. They could easily be some other subjects, you know. It could be some sort of space game, but children might enjoy exercising their imagination to actually construct those characters. Now we'll cut these apertures out, and I'm doing this in rather a hurry, as you can see, but you'll be able to take rather more time and make a careful job of it. This can be as long as you like. It could be 12 inches, or it could be 18 inches long, or 2 foot if you like. Make it as complicated, and use your own creativity and exercise your own imagination on the thing. Well, we've got to get that to stand up, and what we'll use to make it stand up is the old slotty trick, by cutting a slot in the card like so, removing it, cutting a couple of slots here, and these should be just as wide as the material we're cutting, the card, and we'll move it like so. That's fine. And we'll make some ends for it by cutting through the material here, again the slots that will fit, and we'll do it with this piece here as well. The next interesting part of this exercise is actually doing the decoration on it, and for that you could use felt-nibbed painting sticks or something of that description. Oh, I think I've done it again. No, I haven't. There we are. That will slot together like so to stand up. This will slot here, and that will stand up as well. There we are. Oops. Now, I really want to put some decoration on that, so we'll draw a bit of rocky material here, a texture, and you could use paints or whatever. Again, I'm doing this in rather a rush, so it's not going to look awfully attractive, but that might give you an idea of how you might handle this whole business here. Well, there is our caves that our villains are going to hide behind. How do we make the villains? I'll set that to one side, and we'll draw a character on this here. Now, this is a good fun part of this whole business, is to make up some suitably villainous type and give them a look of great dissipation and scraggly hair perhaps, a black hat is always a good villainous thing to have down, and we'll draw him like so. Now, the idea is that he should just poke his head above, I'm sorry, I'll bring this over here, poke his head above the rocks like so he can be barely seen. And we'll make him stand up the same way, cutting him down this, cut out his head like this, and he's coming to a reasonably finished condition, rough though he's looking. And I'll cut a slot in his base to stand him up in. I need that. That comes out like that. And a small piece of card for to make the opposite direction. And we should be just about there. Now our character should stand up. And there he goes. Doesn't look too villainous, but you get the idea. A little bit more care and attention will fix him up, and I'll put him so. Now we'll just move over and we'll have a final look at this. I put some numbers on here, you'll notice, corresponding to the difficulty of the aperture. That's very easy to do, just cut them out of paper and stick them on with a number. And we have 5 marbles each perhaps, and we have a bit of a blast at it. But just before I leave you, I'd just like to remind you, if you want plans for this, write to us at P.O. Box 2606, Christchurch, Make and Do, P.O. Box 2606, and we'll be right. So that's all. Thank you. Goodbye.